Rob, it's hard to believe the final 2 games of this qualifying campaign are upon us. You've announced your squad this morning. How happy are you with how the squad's looking?
Yeah, we've had a couple of injuries that have had to pull out, Cyhoeddi, but apart from that, we've got the likes of Brennan back in, which obviously strengthens us. So, yeah, obviously the disappointing one is Aaron's not quite made the squad because of his injury, but yeah, we're looking forward to camp first and foremost. It was quite an easy squad to put together. You know, if anything, we've just added a bit more quality into us as well. So off the back of such a positive performance against Croatia, it's nice to get them people like Brennan coming back into the fold as well.
Yeah, Brennan's without a doubt a massive boost, and the good news is he's featuring regularly for Spurs at the moment as well.
Yeah, he was substituted the other night, more tactical because of the sending off, which I completely understand. So from a personal point of view, I'm okay with that. He looked bright in the time he had on the pitch. You know, his assist for Son goal last week as well was very good. So the minutes he's playing, he's doing well. Even training with that, you know, quality of player day in, day out is going to improve him and make him better. And the demands that the manager, a top manager, will put on him, and seems a really nice guy as well, the manager, doesn't he, when he speaks and how he comes across. So I think Brennan's in a great environment at the minute, and I hope we now will reap the benefits of that as well in the next camp.
Talk to me a bit about Niall Huggins. He's received his first senior call-up. What's he done to impress you recently, and what can he bring to this squad? Yeah,
I've known Niall for a few years. He might not know that, but when I first took the job with the head of intermediates, I really liked him as a player. And you know, albeit he was in a different position, he was a wide right. He was playing wide right at the time. And I think as it's evolved, he's gone back to full back, but very attack-minded in the way they play. They're a young team, full of energy, and the way we play with wing backs, I think really would suit him and the way we play. So, like I said, it's ticked all the boxes for me. So to introduce him now into the squad, and it's an area as well that I want that competition for places, and we don't really have a lot of cover. You know, with Connor and Nico playing really well in those positions, and if anything was to happen to them, then we don't really have that strength in depth in that area. So for us to now introduce Niall into the squad, I think is the right time to do it. And like I said, I've been impressed with what I've seen so far.
You've mentioned no Aaron Ramsey. There was a bit of concern about Ben Davies because he wasn't in the Spurs squad against Chelsea. Slight ankle injury, but all is okay for these 2 games? All's
fine, yeah. I think I might have been the first message he would have read after the game against Palace. Because I was a little bit concerned myself to see he come off. He's such a big player for us, Cyhoeddi. You know, I can't, you know, big him up enough, really. On the pitch, everybody sees what he does, but off the pitch, he's first class in and around the players. So that would have been a big one for me. So I was on the phone to him straight away, and he reassured me it was his ankle, but you know, he's sensible, very sensible, Ben, and he'll manage his body accordingly. He won't jeopardise his opportunity to firstly play for Spurs, because I know how much he loves playing week in, week out. But secondly, then there's a camp coming up as well, and who knows what will happen on the weekend now, but we'll keep our eyes monitoring him, and fingers crossed.
You mentioned there's a lot of competitions for places, and I've got to say a lot has changed in the last month in terms of how many minutes players are getting for their clubs. I know that's always been a bit of a concern, but you've got a lot of your key players now featuring regularly, which must be a bit of a relief for you.
Yeah, of course, but if you look back over the success we've had and I mean, you know, qualification or promotion from B to A in the Nations League and the Euros and then the World Cup, we've never been blessed with 100% of the players coming in playing at domestic level. So they've never ever let us down, the players. They've always come in and give absolutely everything and some. In the last game against Croatia, 7 of the starting 11 were not playing at club level, yet they go and play like that. So I'm not overly concerned. It just makes your job a little bit easier in the complexities of the camp. And so, you know, we'll have it with Kiefer. Kiefer's not playing as many minutes as I'd like, but I'm not really bothered if he's going to play like he did against Croatia, because he was outstanding. So it just means we manage him differently through the week, that's all. But ultimately, come Thursday, everybody will be on the grass, everybody will be ready to go, and hopefully by then they'll all be in the same physical condition, ready to go.
Armenia and Turkey, Rob, you're 2 games, 2 wins away from qualifying for the Euros. The fact that you're in control, that you're in the driving seat, how much of an exciting prospect is that for you?
Yeah, it's really exciting, Cyhoeddi. I was with the staff on Monday. The atmosphere in the room was incredible. We're all excited, ready to meet up on Sunday. I know the players are. I messaged them after the last camp, after Croatia, and the feedback again was can't wait we're already ready to go again, and so we're all full of excitement. And if somebody would have said to us before we played Croatia away in Split in March that we're going to get to November and we're going into the last camp, the last 2 games, and in complete control of qualification with 2 wins, then we'd have taken it. Absolutely, we've given ourselves an unbelievable opportunity again to qualify for another major tournament, and that's credit to the players. There's been a lot happened, a lot gone on with the transition of senior world-class players leave as well, we know about, and the way they've stepped up, particular Harry Wilson on his 50th cap to score the 2 goals against Croatia and give that level of performance shows his maturity and his responsibility now within that group. He's no longer somebody who's just going to step up and play minutes and expect to be taken off on the hour mark. He knows now he's a big player for us, and when he performs at that level, he's massive for us and our success moving forward. That
keyword momentum is back now following that incredible result against Croatia, but also that incredible performance against Croatia, Rob. Just how important is it now that you don't let this slip, that you keep on building this momentum? And that's what you want as a coach. You're greedy, so you want everything. So you want continuity. You want that. So you're right, the momentum and the positivity coming out of that last camp, not just for the result, but for the performance. And that's what I say. You can't, football's funny, you can't guarantee wins in football. Of course you can't. But if the players and if us as staff collectively we can guarantee performances like that, the results in this group will take care of themselves, and that's the aim. That's what we'll be doing. Take the momentum. Have an air of arrogance about us, and but maintain those levels that have got us the results against top teams. And if we do that in the last 2 games, we'll be okay. I will quickly ask, if I may. At the last camp there was a lot of unnecessary noise around the place. I understand by now you've had the meeting with Noel Mooney and Steve Williams, the president. There's a sense that things are a lot calmer and that everyone's certainly on the same page, but no pun intended, but you're all on the same page by now. Yeah, absolutely. It was a meeting that needed to happen. There was a few things said that I'm not going to go into detail with, but they had to be said. The meeting had to be done. There was the 3 of us in the room, and we all agreed at the end of it that the common goal is for Wales to be successful. We want this team winning games of football, qualifying for major tournaments, but there's a process as well. There's a plan of introducing and sympathetically bringing these young players in. So, real positive meeting. I'm about to go and meet him again and just have a catch-up, a general catch-up, before I then go up to Ferndale and open one of the other pitches that I've arranged to do. So, no, all's good, Seaned, and full focus now, which is nice, is going to be on the players and 2 wins to get us qualified for another major tournament. You've mentioned the change and the bringing in the new players, the having to deal without some of the big names that we've had in the past. Is there a sense now that things are finally starting to click? How happy are you with the progress that's been made over the last few months? I am happy, but it's a work in progress. It's not going to happen overnight, and that was probably my frustration. Yeah, we were always going to get disappointing results. We were always going to get bumps in the road. It's part and parcel of football when you're making quite a few changes and losing world-class players. It's always going to happen. But now we're starting to see the rewards. I thought the Gibraltar game was the perfect opportunity to give 4 new caps. I thought all 4 of them were outstanding. It was like I said, the right environment for them to come into. They've had a taste of what we expect every camp. We've had a closer look at them. And at the right time again, now we'll introduce them back up. But it's really encouraging to see that some of the young ones that we've got coming through are now pushing to get into the first team squad, and that's because me and Matty have got a great relationship. We train together every day on camp. That's one thing I wanted to change. I wanted the under-21s on camp with us so that we stagger training. So at the end of training, my coaches can go over and watch the 21s. They know that we're watching them. The players do it. Ben Davies and Joe Roden in particular stayed out and watched their training last time. So we're getting that relationship between the groups now. So when they step up, it's not alien to them. They understand what's expected, and that will only benefit us in years to come. Finally, Rob, 2 games away from Germany, 2024. Can you do it? Absolutely, of course we can. We've got that. We now have, Seaned, a belief. We don't, I think that's where the tides have changed. There's no guarantees, of course there's not, but we now are a group of staff and players that believe we can do it. And if there was ever a game to prove that, it was against Croatia at home. Like I said, not the result, the performance was incredible. And
and we've seen signs of it since September. You know, different types of challenges, different types of discipline needed to go and get wins, different types of games, but it all come together against Croatia, and that's exciting. So if we continue to play like that, we'll be all right.